Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, a couple of comments came in today regarding Minnesota Congressman Dean Phillips. He's being touted by Steve Schmidt, who's a Lincoln Project co-founder and one of the guys who originally brought us Sarah Palin as a vice presidential candidate. He's been regretting it ever since, I suspect. Backing Dean Phillips. Now, who's Dean Phillips? I just told you his background. He's a congressman from Minnesota. He's announcing his run for presidency against Joe Biden in the primaries. He's going to announce in New Hampshire, where because the DNC was trying to rearrange the order of the states for voting, something happened in New Hampshire, and Joe Biden isn't on the New Hampshire ballot. And New Hampshire basically had all their representatives taken away from them for nominating the Democratic nominee for the presidential run. So there's no value in it. Yeah. So Dean Phillips is going to announce in New Hampshire he'll be on the New Hampshire ballot. He'll run unopposed. He'll win New Hampshire, and he'll get exactly 0 electors for doing that. But, he'll win a state. So there's that. There's your ego right there. Now, question is, why is he running against Biden? Why is he trying to primary Biden? Frankly, because he thinks Biden's too old. This guy is 54 years old. Biden is 80. And a lot of, according to polls, a lot of Democrats think Biden's too old. So he's just trying to run on that. And, if 70% of the Democrats think Biden's too old, he's hoping he gets most of those votes, and then he becomes the de facto Democrat that's running for the presidency. And that's causing some anxiety, as you might imagine, with folks in my comment section saying, does this guy have a chance? Honestly, I don't think he does. Typically, the incumbent president is going to win their primary unless they've done something so horrific, think Nixon-esque type stuff that we'll just even park Trump, because Trump's just a special case. It'd have to be something like that for him not to get that support. So I'm not too concerned. But let's read on the energy around Dean Phillips. Got to be careful when you're a Democrat name with the last name Dean, because you might run around going, we're going to win New Hampshire, woo! And then be called unpresidential. Dean Phillips, what's the energy behind you? Well, he's just going to give this old candidacy a go. We're not going to just let Biden just roll on here unopposed. We're going to throw ourselves in front of the bus and see what happens. And there's Biden. Yeah. I think the Biden train's going to move on. And generally speaking, I think this is just saying Biden can rest easy. He's not New Hampshire. So again, this guy, Dean Phillips, is going to win New Hampshire. It gives him nothing. But I don't even think this gives Biden much pause. Or maybe it's a little bit of pause. It's like, okay, I've got a challenger. He's doing this. What do I need to do to defeat this? And I imagine opposition research will be such that you probably don't need to do anything other than be Joe Biden, the incumbent president. That's going to be enough. But occasionally when you have a primary candidate, what it does is it forces, or even an independent candidate, it forces the other candidates to talk about the issues and the topics. And Biden is not one to shy away from talking about issues and topics. As a matter of fact, it's kind of a strength of his. And he has a record that he can run off of. So, in the end of the day, this thing's not going anywhere. This guy's, if you want to jump in front of a train and get run over, man, that's on you. In the past, we got the four of coins. You got a pair of fours here, huh? Dean Phillips is, again, I think he's looking at Biden as just like, he's got everything buttoned down, locked up. He doesn't need to expose himself. And maybe Dean Phillips is just trying to see, are there any chinks in the armor that he can get through? again, I think it's literally, maybe Biden's losing it and needs to take a break, and I can come in and be the avenue for change. He's being opportunistic. I can't say I blame him for taking this approach, but if he, for some reason, leaves this campaign really, really disappointed, like he really thought he had a chance, he might need some therapy. Current situation, it's all, happy families and rainbows. It's funny because apparently, he's an heir to a liquor company, does stuff with gelato, and he's somehow related to Dear Abby from the Advice Columnist. He's got a good life. He's wealthy. He's got $100 million to his name. If he wins this or not, it doesn't impact his life. He's already ridiculously wealthy. I think in this article in Rolling Stone, he's like the 5th wealthiest Democrat in the House. So, no big deal. And the Democrats right now are kind of unified behind Biden. The Democrats aren't always unified behind their candidates, but I think they're unified behind Jeffries. They're unified behind Biden and Schumer. So they're behind their leadership. And he's just testing to see, he's testing that leadership, that unity. He wants people, he's looking at it's like, make a choice. Old, young. Maybe people want change. Maybe it's not just enough to be happy with Biden. Maybe people want change, and I'm going to test the waters. And here's your troubled waters over there. He's going to test the waters on it. He'll go forward with his campaign. He'll run for New Hampshire. He'll run a couple of states. But I think what you're going to find is like, if, let's say Iowa's the next state, or after a couple of states, if Biden just trounces him, he'll be gone. He won't see this thing all the way through because there's no point. If I'm understanding this correctly from the article, the only point he has is maybe I have a chance because people think he's too old. And you'll find out pretty quickly if that's the case or not. Outcome, I might take that back. He might stick around a lot longer. Maybe he just hammers Biden for being too old and he's causing a ruckus. In some ways, I'm curious if he actually does Biden a favor by attacking his age, because it starts engaging Democrats and getting their passions up and causing a real discussion. Not so much that Biden's too old, but don't be complacent. Not that especially with Trump being the candidate, that we should be complacent. But I think that's what this card is underneath here. Maybe the Democrats are a little bit too complacent right now, and he's going to stir up the pot. So don't look at this as a bad thing. I'm going to actually put this card off to the side because I want to throw some clarifiers on it. But I'll shuffle the deck as opposed to just taking the top cards. Where was my train of thought going here? Like the chariot. It left the station and ain't coming back. No, I think if the Democrats get too complacent, Trump could win this election. It's just the way it is, especially in the battleground states. Because for whatever reason, telling our secrets, stealing top secret documents, trying to steal election results and send out fake electors in different states, and committing fraud against the state of Georgia, against the state of New York. None of that really seems to matter, huh? Those guys, his supporters will ride that wave all the way to the shore. And so you just need to keep Democrats engaged so they're out and vote, especially young people. We need minorities out voting, and we really need to nail the independents too. Really need to do that. All right, clarifiers on this Five of Wands. I just want to keep this out. Come on down. Is this about getting Democrats engaged in the process? What is this Five of Wands telling me? Eight of Cups. Him leaving. There's a leaving there. Caring. Backroom. Oh. Okay. I think it'll get people engaged. But you know what this is going on here? Business is business. This is nothing personal. This is business, straight out of The Godfather. He wants some concessions and he'll walk away. He wants some backroom deals. He wants some promises. You know, what can you do for the state of Minnesota to help me out here? What a dirtbag. Oh well, that's politics. I think he's doing it just. So, remember that part it was saying he's got $100 million net worth. He's the fifth most wealthy Democrat. He probably wants to move up to number 4. Okay, it may not be about wealth. It might be about power and influence because he's got plenty of wealth. So, how else do you measure your cred other than power and influence? And I think for you and me, we don't get it, man. That's just a foreign concept to us. To have so much money, to have so much wealth that instead of just enjoying your money and your wealth and living a comfortable lifestyle, now you crave power. Because you already got the money and wealth, so what else is left? You've got the fancy house, and you got the fancy cars, and you got the trophy wife, and you got the villas in foreign countries and stuff like that. What else you got for me? It's just like that greed of, now can I tell a bunch of people what to do and how to do it, and how many can I have? It's like having your own personal army. Jiminy Christmas, man. Does anybody here think that way? I don't think that way. I can't wait till I retire and live comfortably. Not extravagantly, but comfortably. Okay. What's the lesson? How about that? We'll do this one. I'm not worried about this guy. He's going away. He's gonna make a bunch of noise and then he'll cut a backroom deal and go away. But what's the lesson for all of us in this? Ace of Swords. Ideas. Truth and ideas. Power. Planning. Choices. Okay. I think, and look at what's the message for us is look for the truth. Look for ideals. What this guy is going to show us is somebody who's not doing something for truth or integrity or to lead per se. He's doing it for self-gain and self-enrichment. So it's being able to discern between somebody, like in this case, I would say Biden, who actually has an agenda. He has things he wants to do. He's driven and passionate about versus somebody who's just in it for personal enrichment. It's like following the money. Look at the person, look at their actions, look at their deeds, look at their words, and see if they align. So for Dean Phillips, it's about self-enrichment. He's a wealthy guy and he wants more power and that's what's driving his actions for this. And he's going to see, what's the support he can get. If he can't get that support, he's already looking for what kind of deal can I negotiate. So if we were doing this for Dean Phillips, I have an idea. I'm going to enrich myself and gain more power. I'm going to explore running for the presidency because there's an untapped potential out there. I can tap into that potential and advance myself, and I can enrich myself along the way. For Biden has policies that he wants to do because he's already wealthy he's like wealthy in spirit. He's looking for the health and well-being of others as opposed to his personal health. So he's constantly looking to do deals and lead. He's not going back to his cave. He's leading. He's shining. He's being a beacon of example of how to do things and even try and work with other countries. He tries to work with the Republicans, but that's just such a non-starter in this country. But leading not only the United States, but leading in the world on his ideas and what he thinks the world needs to to go forward, and he's willing to compromise. He's willing to work with people. He's not an all or nothing president. You know, the whole, if you compromise, you lose. He's old school. Back when Congress used to compromise a bit and there was give and takes. But that's not how the political system's up there. So, you know, take home point, look at people and try and understand what their motivations are. This guy, Dean Phillips, it's about money and power. He's just a dirtbag. No offense to Dean Phillips and his family, but that's what I'm getting from this. There's no reason for him to do this. And I suspect that he will come to some type of financial agreement with Biden and then drop out. Or approach Biden and say, hey, I'll drop out, but if you give me this and this, because, you know, politics. And Biden will do it because Biden understands that politics is a dirty business and there's going to be compromise like that. But it's such a low energy, old school, frankly, dirtbag way of doing it. That doesn't mean it's wrong. Yeah, it does mean it's wrong. But it's just what's been done. It's just what's been done. It's always been done. I look forward to the day that that's no longer acceptable. We're not there yet. But don't worry. He's going away. He's not going anywhere. He's not doing anything. He's just going to be like Joe Manchin or Kirsten Sinema, cause some problems, throw a pouch with 30 pieces of silver in there and send them on their way. Thank you for supporting my channel and watching this video. I appreciate it. Thank you for everything you do to feed the YouTube algorithm beast so my video makes it out to a wider range of subscribers, or viewers, I should say, into those new viewers. Welcome to the channel. Hope you liked this reading. Hope you found it insightful. And I hope you'll subscribe and catch you on the next video. Take care.